Hello, welcome to this week's edition of the Coaches Preview Show. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Qualls, and with me today is Coach Kriesky, Coach Webb. Battle of Franklin, huge game tonight, biggest game, arguably the biggest game for you guys. But with the implications tonight, it just kind of ramps this up even more between you guys, your teams, the student sections, the cultures at your school, everything on the line. Battle of Franklin. You couldn't script it any better as far as that goes, but what do we expect tonight's matchup on your side?
Well, hopefully we'll get a couple guys cleared before 7 o'clock and they'll be able to play. But the guys have been battling the 3 straight losses, and then a win against Dixon helped us. We had a good week of practice against Riverdale. It's a tough loss for us. And then this week, kids have been practicing hard. So
let's talk about that for a second. Riverdale put up 45 points. Playing against your brother. Mm-hmm. What about that game? What does that do between you and your brother? Let's talk about that. For those who don't know, Riverdale came in town last week. Your brother's the head coach there. Kriesky Bowl. I'm sure the real K is going to stand up. I saw those shirts. Was there a side bet that you have to wear that shirt by chance?
No, there was not. Right. So it was a good week. I think it was more stressful for our mother. She was ready for it to get over with. My son's birthday party was this past Saturday, so we all had to be together. So, I bet for the first 20 minutes, me and Will didn't say a word to each other. So
sounds about right.
Come on. Is it that bad? It can't be that bad.
He can tell you. He knows. So, but, I'm glad it's over with. I tell you, after next year, we probably won't renew that contract.
We actually predicted that on the show earlier this week. As much as you love your brother, as much as you want to see them win when you're not playing, I'm sure the stress on that game is extremely high. And there's really no winning situation out of that. Especially you're going to the birthday party afterwards, you're out in the front yard, you're both jawing at each other, you're playing one-on-one football out there to determine who's the winner, right?
Yeah.
And you're having to see who's going to wear the shirt. I know, I'm just messing with you, but I know it has to be ramped up. So then you follow that up with the Battle of Franklin. And this is your second Battle of Franklin. You won last year 28-24. Pressure's on. We know the implications. The implications right now, Coach Webb, big. You guys have Brentwood to play. Coach Webb, you guys have Dixon to play. Pretty much comes down to the winner of this game is going to have a leg up as far as getting to the playoffs.
Well, I don't know because we don't have a district win yet. So, we just need to win an in-county game. And let alone we just need to win a football game. I'll say the exact same things that Matt said about his kids. I've been proud of the way we practiced. It's tough when you're going through this. Most people have no idea the amount of time that I know Matt's doing exactly what I do, staring at a practice schedule. And all right, what do I need to change here? What do I need to change there? And then just tweak different things because you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and very few of them on either one of our teams are 18 years old. There's just very few of them, and they're still kids, and so the psyche that you're dealing with them. I don't know that I'd stare at my computer, Google Doc, they make whatever it is nowadays, and instead of a piece of paper, and try to decide, let's change this, let's tweak this, and then and when really it still comes down to, we're not blocking very well, we're not tackling very well, and but we got another opportunity to get better at it.
Well, Coach Webb, you missed it, both of you. You're 1-5 right now. You beat an undefeated McGavock team. Well, let me first say this.
34-7.
That's right. Let me say this first and foremost. Your record, not your record, your schedule is not the easiest one in the world. So let's go down there. Lost to Brentwood 14-10, arguably one of the better top 5, top 6, 6A teams in the state. Ravenwood, nobody would expect it to Ravenwood to have the year that they've had thus far. You got them early, got a win. You played them in the Hurricane Bowl, 13-10, you lost there. Independence, 34-24, you catch them on an upswing. So, there's a lot of games that could have gone either way and close, that could be difference makers.
Oh, without a doubt. We can, and that's the whole thing. We're a football game away from having all 3 parts of the team when we're talking offense, defense, special teams, because we've done some really good things in special teams. We've done some really good things on offense. We've done some really good things on defense. We've just never put it all together, following each spot up. And and a lot of teams can say it. I'm sure Matt would say the same thing. The only thing I wish it was a scheduling year, and then we wouldn't have that problem next year with that schedule. And teams like Mount Juliet and stuff would actually play. Somebody over here. We would be able to get a schedule, and but we're excited about it, and we're excited to keep going.
Sorry. I always heard they would play anybody.
Who's that?
Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned
That team he was
school.
mentioning.
I shouldn't have mentioned that school, but I know that
Can't nobody score 'em.
and I know that what we were talking about, the schedule part of it. We're going to play who we got, and our main thing is we need to get a county win. And that's what we're looking at. We need a win for Franklin.
That's what I was going to ask. The thing that's crazy about it, you sit there, you're at 1-5, but like he mentioned, you lost by 4 to Brentwood, you lose by 3 to Ravenwood. You beat Ravenwood by 3, who turned around and beat Brentwood. And so, it's just so tight between all of y'all. And I mean, I think it really is fair to say, your strength or one of your strengths is your line. That's one of your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they have more guys that can make plays in space. Is it safe to say that's pretty much what this game comes down to?
I would think so, yes, sir. But I really, I'm telling you, they run the power is really, really well. It's good at football team. They're bringing it downhill. Now, those backs do a really good job of getting the cutback and making the power,
So if you if your guys over pursue trouble.
I'm really impressed when you say our defensive line is not the biggest guys in the world. Their offensive line's coming off and running the power. They're running the football very well downhill, and then they do a really good job with all their shifts and motions. It's going to give us some problems because, what I think they're looking for now is we want to run the power, but we're going to shift motion to get leverage on you so that we can get 22 on the edge. We can get 2 and 4 on the edge, and that's what they do, and they're doing a good job with it.
So what do you have to do?
I mean, we got to play gap football. You can't we all know how they're going to block the power. We think how they're going to block the power versus our defense by watching film, and the same thing he would say to us. But now from there, we can't. Can we get an extra hat over there and still give up the cutback? Because 2 and 4 and 22, that's what they're really good at now. They cut that thing back, and then from there, we've got to be a better tackler in space. Exactly what you said. A strength of theirs would be us trying to tackle them in a phone booth, let less out there on a big old field. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
What would you say to that, Coach Kriesky?
That's what he said. We're trying to get Jarrell, Trey Carlton. We're trying to get them in space. Tavion. We're small up front. So even Trey Stewart, he had a great game last week throwing the football. I echo what he said. We've been so up and down. We've been in spurts, good offensively at times. Vice versa, defense at times we've been good. Last week, our kickoff team was awful. So we have not put together a complete game. I feel like we could be a decent football team if we can put it all together. And I know he can say the same thing. I was texting one of his coaches this weekend. I feel like we're similar in a lot of ways because we've lost a lot of close games, and both of us I haven't put it all together. And I think both of our records, doesn't reflect what kind of teams we are.
Right, and I think a lot of people on the outside would think that. You mentioned Trey, and I think it's kind of the same thing with Hendry, but they've both been a little banged up. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they're both, from last week, they're both starting to heal up a little bit and play better, right? So from the fans' perspective, I would think that's good. Yeah. But, I know you wished one of them for the other would take a week later to get. But it looks like they're both getting healthier, which makes both of you better, obviously.
It's the toughest thing about playing a schedule, and is when you get just the normal game of football. You don't get the opportunity to ever, let's face it, some football teams, even some of them in our district, they got a game, they can see that, well, we're going to win unless we fumble it 5 times and throw 3 interceptions, we're going to win. And so you can really not push, for lack of a better word, those kids as much. And so that's, that's where I'm talking about the practices. We're not allowed to tackle hardly anymore in practice. So we tackle the fire out of those little rings. If you'll roll a ring out there on field, we will tackle it. But we're not, we will tackle it.
I mean, you got look like you got safety vest on, a flood helmet, and tackling padded rings that are going across the right.
I mean, but it's the way we all want this game to keep playing, and we wouldn't be sitting here doing this if we didn't love the game of football. And so we're all trying to do things to keep this game going. But it is tough to teach them how to do.
So really, what you're saying, I think, and it's tough because there's more awareness on all that stuff now. You can't coach your players the way you coached him. We were talking all that, right? He turned out fine.
He's having a hard time putting thoughts together right now.
But so really, the only way to learn to tackle is game experience, right? I mean, that's almost what it's come down to, right?
I don't mean it, but because once let's say we wanted to do it, if this was we were all on team and you were the coach and we were the drill, if you made us tackle full to get to the ground without using an apparatus or something to use, dummy of some form, well, the clock starts on the amount of contact it starts. So then now if you want to go to work an inside drill, the 3 of us have already had contact. We're doing the right thing. That's not my point, but yes, it does make it difficult for our game, trying to work it.
We're trying to blow a whistle as soon as somebody's coming to tackle when we're on team offense, and I know, you can see in tackling now as a whole, and across the state, it's not as good as what it used to be in years past.
That kind of was one thing I was going to ask. You're a defensive coach. Coach Webb's a defensive coach. Your brother's a defensive coach, and all really good ones. And so that was what was the final of the Riverdale score? 50. And I'm not trying to be funny. That's where the game's changed. I know, right? We know.
Yeah,
know what to do.
He called me Saturday and asked me if I teach tackling. He said, y'all scored over 100 points.
But I know that you know how to coach defense, and I think your brother does. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's where this game's changed a little bit, right? I mean, it's geared towards the offenses now. And I guess probably that's a big part of it, right? I never really thought of it that way, but right?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's even Dr. Qualls was want to mess with me about running the ball.
Between him and Coleman.
Yeah, no, but
the game lasts about 30 minutes.
He wants to mess with me about the forward pass. But if you want to get physical, I'm sure they have to worry about it with their offensive linemen because I'm telling you, they run the power really well. But then these kids are turning around playing defense as well, and that clock starts. So it's taking care of those kids, keeping this game to be where my grandkids will play it. You know what I'm saying? And
you're doing the right things, but it's changed how you do them.
Yeah, correct.
And you see, let's just be honest, you see a difference on Saturdays. You see a difference on Sundays now, the way the game is being played as far as the highest levels. And those particular hits and those particular things that used to be fine and part of the game that everybody loved is now pretty much making its way out because of protection issues and trying to make sure that the players stay healthy and whatnot. And it changes your philosophy then all of a sudden. I mean, like you said, if you can't tackle live, how do you expect to tackle Tavion and Trey Carlton in open space on the cutbacks, right?
Pretty tough.
Do those rings move as good as those guys do?
Depends on who's throwing them.
Well, let's talk real quick. Offensive side of the ball. Coach Kriesky, we'll start with you at Centennial. 2-4, 2-1 in region play, which is enormous. I mean, forget the overall record. And this is, Coach Webb, I think this is something you were trying to allude to as well. It is so difficult to teach and help the kids understand. Right, we have a set schedule. We've got Hendersonville, Riverdale, Oakland, all those teams are non-conference, right? Even though we don't win those games, or we do win those games, it doesn't help us at the end game as long as in the region 6-6A, Right now, you're sitting above 500, okay? And I know that your 2-4 record, you'd like for that to be above 500 or even better. But you know what? You're sitting 2-1 in Region 668, which is arguably one of the best 2 conferences there is football-wise. And Independence sitting right now in first place, 2-0. Brentwood, Ravenwood, Centennial, all 3 fighting for that home playoff spot. A win tonight would put you a leg up there, and then you'd have a big showdown with Brentwood. That is, if Brentwood takes care of business against Independence. You know, who knows how this is even going to play out. Coach, you've got Dixon left. You're talking about, I don't know if we have a win in Region 668. You got a win in Region. That one for sure is a win. I want to go ahead and knock on wood.
Depending on what happens tonight.
But let's talk about offensive side of the ball for you, Coach Kriesky. Give us a little rundown about who's playing really well and who's doing what.
Like I said earlier, Trey Stewart had a good game last week. We mentioned Tavion Fleming. He had a great first half against Riverdale. Had a great game against Dixon. We even put him back there in a Wildcat package against Dixon at times. So we've been trying to continue to work on to expand that a little bit more, expand his role. We want the ball in his hand. We want the ball in Jariel's hand, Trey Carlton's hand. They're all playing both ways for us.
Trey Carlton, sophomore.
He's
How far has he come down the road since day one?
That kid, I would have told you at this time last year that he probably wouldn't start for us, but his whole attitude, he's a winner. He's the leader of our defense, and he just wants to win. He's a great kid. He's an outstanding kid to coach. If we had 10 more of him, it'd be really good for us. I just want him to keep growing and getting better because the future is very bright for that young man.
I have to say something real quick. This may be just a bit ridiculous, but the new apparatus they have that's motorized, the moving tackle dummy, that reminds me of what you were just saying. You're going to have to get one that's real fast. It cuts back and forth.
Have you seen those things live?
Yes.
They're fast.
I know. It all of a sudden hit me, Coach Webb out there saying tackle it, and kids are missing it. They're going back and forth.
One thing, I haven't been able to see you play yet, but
You haven't in 2 years, have you?
not you. I've seen him. Matt Gacka, every time I pick up the paper, he's over 100, 120, 125, 130. That was one of the big question marks this year. Who's going to replace Mitch Rossi, right? Or that, not yours, but our question. And it looks like, and we've already harped on your schedule, he must really be turning into a player.
He is. He's a warrior. He's a tough, really tough kid. Does not want to come out of the football game. And to be honest, we left him in too much last week because Matt would take this, so I had no problem saying this to you because we talked about how we felt like he was hurting us defensively, some. So we had to get him some rest on offense. But it's very tough where to decide because he's a good football player, and that's the bottom line with Matt. He wants to win. He wants to win. Then he's of the backs. We've done several. We've kind of obviously settled in with him and Jenkins a little bit. He's patient. Early we were trying several different backs, and a couple that we thought might be a little faster, might step faster or something else, but they won't be patient enough to let those blocks develop. And he is, and that's his best part. So I would say like his patience and vision on offense.
And if you've never done it, maybe what does that mean? That sounds silly, but it is. That's a skill, and
so it's like the counter is one of our number one run plays, and if you beat the second puller, the wrapper, you need to be patient and follow him.
It's not real good.
Yeah,
that play doesn't work very well.
You need him to go with you, and been really proud of Jonah Albert. He's really grown. He's an H-back for us, number 36. He's really grown into a really good blocker and helped us there. And so I think that's helped our run game as well. And if we could just get, some going, we should have the opportunity to get something vertical down the field to give us a chance. And then I do think it'll even open up more.
We mentioned Hendry. We knew what he was about coming in. He's been a little banged up, and so Nichols has been able to play too. And he threw a touchdown pass last week, right? I believe
he did.
And so
4th and 1, called a pass.
There you go.
Qualls.
Air Webb. Is that something that we're going to see more of, or kind of dictate how the game goes?
Possibility, yes, because we really do like Josh. We like Josh a lot. But the same things that I would say about Matt, I would say about Carter. Carter's a warrior, and he would be the first to tell you he's made some bad decisions for us, especially in our option game and pressing exactly, instead of just letting it go and because of that, we get some negative plays, but we've also got some pretty good plays out of him, and that's the part that I'm not going to forget. I know that, and obviously Coach Tomlinson, he's coaching our quarterbacks and calling the offense. He's not going to forget that either. And so, but what I do like is I'm in it now. I told Josh, I was proud of him, and I think he's grown up. I think the best part about it is I didn't know for sure if he was the type quarterback that going to be the one for, so let's say next year, or be the guy. And he's growing up, and he's going to be a good one, and that gets me even more excited. I mean, we still got a lot of 2017 to go, but tonight, we're starting just like he is, but we're starting eight sophomores and juniors and one freshman on defense tonight. And so it's and then you get some things going on with a good offense as well with it. So we're excited about that type of stuff.
Coach Kriesky, defensively, y'all have had to tackle those rings in practice on the option play. It's pretty difficult. Do you roll two out and say left or right? How does that work?
Yeah.
But in all honesty, the option offense, defensively, what are some things that you really, it's really hard to get probably game-like speed reps in practice of somebody that does it well. We talked about Coach coming a while ago and how difficult that is to defend the wing tee, because your scout team just can't run it to perfection like a varsity team can. So in the same sense here with the option offense, how do you get yourself ready for that?
Well, the first couple of days we do what's called, we do a step-by-step. So we blow the whistle, make the scout team take every step, and then we come back and we run at full speed. We're not getting the looks that I want to see in our defensive coaches. It's going to be tough. Everybody's going to have to be disciplined. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a lot of times this week when we've been in team defense, we're redoing a play because we want it to be perfect. And everybody's got to do their job. It's tough to defend. Our safety's going to have to be smart and play well. Our outside linebackers are going to have to step up and play better what they've been playing in the past couple of weeks. Like he said, I've also got some young guys. I got a junior kid, Sean Hennon, he'll probably tell you about my size whenever I was in high school playing inside linebacker. But this kid is tough.
What was your size?
Probably what I am now. I wasn't smaller than that. And so when he was talking about tackling earlier.
More importantly, what was his 40 time?
From
6.8 seconds.
Yeah.
Did you have long hair?
I think I did.
Longer?
Yeah, it was longer. A little longer.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So, but he would have us out there an extra 45 minutes to hour beating each other up. We can't do that anymore.
What year was that?
It was 98, 99.
I'm guessing 1998, Coach Webb. There was probably there were probably some hair rules. You know what I'm saying? Is that fair?
Not past the collar, something along
that
those
would be
lines.
my guess. But
Billy Squire playing in the background as he pulled up an IROC Z. Him and the brother got out,
Yeah.
smoke rolling out of that. Here they are. They're Kriesky, bro. At Henry County. I can't laugh. I'm from Hickman County. I understand that. That's why I'm saying that. But let's talk real quick. Culture, student sections, we know that plays an integral part, something that you don't control, but you know how important those two are. What is that dynamic for this particular game?
It's huge. I know I can't say enough about our student section.
They have traveled well this year.
They have, and we really appreciate their support. Miss Beasley, one of the teachers, her and Miss Stice, do a great job, and they pack the stands every week, and it's been real impressive. And we know that they're going to come out in full support, no matter what is going on with us. They're there to support us, and we appreciate it.
It brings to mind Hurricane Bowl, Harvey Bowl at Independence.
Yes, they were
full
out there.
crowd. That's probably one of the worst. I can't remember a night it was any worse. Because it was just cold enough. The rain never stopped, and it was blowing sideways. And there they were, up there, packed out. Rebellion's same way. They were at Ravenwood that night.
Oh,
And-
without a doubt. It's one of the most impressive things for another kid to say something. That young man that got hurt in the Riverdale game when we played Riverdale at home, the young man that got his femur broke. I stayed in contact with him and checking on him and everything, and that's all. And first thing out of his mouth, I just love playing y'all because the student section shows up while we're warming up. So it is.
Cool.
It is. That's what's awesome. The toughness of all of us being back together is fun, but a struggle. But
It's a tough schedule.
Getting to play all these games again. It's pretty cool on Friday nights, and the kids care about it.
Last year was for bragging rights. This year it's for playoff. Now I want you to think about that. Last year was completely for bragging rights for the helmet. This year is, it's pretty much season on the line right here, and that's difficult. It's so difficult. I know that neither one of your records are probably where you would like for them to be overall, but to get those 15, 16, 17-year-old kids to buy in this late in the season and face adversity, you guys got to get up and answer the bell. This is not the worst thing that's going to happen in your life. You try to get that point across to them that you're going to face adversity in your life, and what a metaphor sports and athletics is for real life and for teaching scenarios. You kind of touched on it a while ago. Say, look, man, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get knocked down in life. We're going to be close. It's not horseshoes. Not everybody wins awards as much as they like to make it look like everybody wins an award. But you're going to face adversity, and here's the chance right here. Even though you faced adversity like you have up to this point and it hasn't gone your way, we still have a fighting chance to get ourselves in.
Amen. There's no Saturday school for retake of a test.
That's right.
It's going to be Friday night.
And are you excited, Coach Kriesky, about that?
I am.
You'll turn to page 364 in your criminals. You'll now have.
I like that one.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do what?
I like that one. That was a good one. There's no Saturday school for or retaking the test on this. This is.
That's right. And, for everybody that's watching, you better get there early. Because this game is at Centennial tonight. You've got a lot of things going on. We've got the tailgate going on. You've got a little bit of what else you got going on?
There's a band playing beforehand, some food trucks out there. So we'll have some food for Coach Webb whenever he shows up, maybe.
And just to add one more layer of distractions, you're going to get to look at our ugly mugs one more time because we got WCS game day out there. We can't wait to get you two up when you're really trying to focus on the game and make you even more mad at us. So both of you.
We probably will be.
Yeah. So, well, Battle of Franklin tonight. Best of luck to both of you. Thank you for coming on today. 7 o'clock tonight at Centennial. Not too many bigger games than this one. So best of luck, you guys, and we'll see you later.
You're always trying to keep your kids safe, right? What about preventing concussion? Concussion can happen anywhere, on a sports field, at the park, even at home. So you need to know the ABCs. Assess the situation, be alert for signs and symptoms, and contact a healthcare professional. Most kids recover completely, but seek care to help them get better faster. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. Keep kids safe. It's as simple as ABC.